Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, welcome to the premiere episode of Inspect History by Bingar.
Cadê meu pé no caxangá? Perdi meu par, longe de ti, vou por aí, deixa na toca o meu siri. Guiné, Guiné, cadê meu pé no caxangá?
The hundreds of years of Dutch colonialism in Indonesia have given a lot of impressions, not only in political and economic sector, but it also turned out that the Muslim living, especially the ideology of Pan-Islamism, was very difficult to be accepted and developed during the Dutch colonial period. From this, of course, rest the questions behind the section. Why Pan-Islamism was very difficult to be accepted during the Dutch colonial age? Using dependency theory as the best principle for the findings and discussions, I would like to explain in a brief about the dependency theory. So, dependency theory has three main characteristics. The first one is international system is seen as the sum of two sets of states, dominant and dependent. The second one is it holds that external forces are critical in terms of economic activity of dependent states. And the last one is about relationships, based on strongly historical pattern and dynamics between the dominant and dependent states are a vibrant process. But before we step up to the relation between the theory and the fact that were matter, I would like to make a simple comprehension about what is Pan-Islamism. The idea of Pan-Islamism was born from the thoughts of Jamaluddin al-Afghani. Pan-Islamism, in a broad sense, is a sense of solidarity in the form of a historical unification of the brotherhood of Muslims worldwide. This solidarity or fraternal union has been carried out by the Prophet Muhammad. At that time, Jamaluddin al-Afghani was in Egypt. He saw that the country was really poor, then felt strange about Egypt's very arid conditions, even though the land was fertile and rich. Egypt, which at that time experienced economic problems, made many foreign nations enter and interfere in this problem. However, these foreign interventions only made Egypt even worse. Egypt continues to be exploited. Seeing this, Jamaluddin al-Afghani began to actively try to build awareness of Eastern nations that Western nations had exploited their nation. Pan-Islamism emerged as a direct reaction to the Western influence on the idea of nationalism. The idea of nationalism is considered capable of dividing Muslims who were initially under one leadership of Islamic government. So, what will happen with Pan-Islamism in Indonesia? Pan-Islamism later entered Indonesia and developed into a political organization that also fought against the colonialists in order to gain independence. Of course, they do it through Islamic ways. One of the first organizations or parties to play an important role in the Pan-Islamism movement in Indonesia was the Sarekat Dagang Islam. This organization was founded in 1911 by Haji Samanhudi by bringing together all the batik entrepreneurs. The original aim was to confront the monopoly of raw materials by Chinese traders at their loss. Sarekat Dagang Islam was renamed as Sarekat Islam. The purpose of the name change was to expand Sarekat Islam membership, not only from among traders, but also from the lower classes of society. At the time of the formation of Sarekat Islam, the chairman was held by Haji Umar Said Cokro Aminoto, while Saman Hudi was the honorary chairman. Cokro Aminoto argued that Islam includes the widest possible freedom of the Ummah in relation to politics and economics. He considered Islam has outlined brotherhood that must be carried out by Muslims in any country, regardless of ethnicity, race, nation, and class. Relating with those three main characteristics of the dependency theory, I have found two main findings that I'm going to explain further. The first one is Dutch colonialist condemnations against Pan-Islamism acceptance was actually rooted into the Dutch internal interest. Because the idea of Pan-Islamism itself was naturally have challenges during the Dutch colonialism period. The Dutch colonialists as the dependent variable were fear for being expelled from Indonesia if the Muslim community is to unite. Because Pan-Islamism had been interpreted as a political ideology to build Indonesian Islamic State. Of course, the dominant variable in here is the Indonesian Muslim. And as the dependency theory holds that external forces are critical in terms of economic activity dependent states, have you ever heard about glory gold gospel? The slogan that underlies the exploration, exploitation, and ultimately colonialism and imperialism activities carried out by the European nation. The purpose is to gain wealth, to spread Catholic Christianity, and to gain fame and glory from discovering new colonies. Even this idea was mainly carried by the Spanish and the Portuguese imperialists, but still, the Dutch were also applied this. Of course, they want gold. This is the thing that the dominant state, aka Indonesia, had. Let's suppose this as an external force for the colonialists. Indonesia is a rich country of natural resources as well as the human resources. And this, then, by the power they had, it used by the colonialists to get glory. The second findings is about the Muslim during the Dutch colonial age faced many difficulties. As I stated before, that the Dutch were fear for being expelled from Indonesia if the Muslim community is to unite. Unlike the Portuguese or the Spanish, the main purpose of the Dutch colonialists were actually to get gold and glory, but didn't rule out that the possibility that they also wanted to spread Christianity. They stemmed this thought in various ways, including limiting Muslims in Indonesia from any Islamic activity, such as attempt to stop the Indonesian Muslim community for performing the pilgrimage by requiring them to hand over a certain amount of money before they leave. Well, I hope you guys can get the big picture of the correlation about the findings theoretically. But before closing this video, I'm gonna give you some conclusion. The first one is the idea of the Pan-Islamism naturally faced challenges during the Dutch colonial period. They put restrictions, measures against the movement of Muslims by the Dutch. And then the Dutch colonialists has their own interests, which is explained by the glory gold gospel. And the last one is the policy implemented by the Dutch did not discourage Indonesian Muslims for performing Islamic activities. So that's all the brief explanation on why Pan-Islamism was really difficult to be accepted during the Dutch colonial period. And thank you for watching my first or my premiere episode of Inspect History by Bingar. I hope you guys keeping up for my further next episodes. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.
Guiné, Guiné, cadê meu pé no caxangá?